Birds. Over here at the top right side of Deadwing LE, representing Team Acer, we have Scarlett. Looking over that last game, just kind of thinking about it, it wasn't anything I want to say incredibly special, and I think she would agree, but she produced, I feel like, the right composition. And, you know, SaroVati didn't put a lot of pressure on her that game. She was able to sit back quite a while. She was able to macro up very efficiently. Early fourth hatch. I don't want to say very early, but got a fourth hatch, so she had additional income that was working with her. And Lings, Hydras, and Mutas, you know, are going to be pretty good versus, I want to say, Mass Blinkstalker Sentry. And the Archons kind of joined in a little bit late to the party there, so I feel like SaroVati, due to the fact that he went into Stargate and the Oracle wasn't really able to get much done, it kind of misteched him a little bit. And I feel like he could have maybe spent his resources elsewhere. Like, it would be a different thing if he started maybe producing like Void Rays to help himself out, along with, say, charge lots on the ground, and maybe if he had time to be able to potentially get out Templars or Storm. I think that would have been a little bit of a better composition for him. But, you know, he has had success with that playstyle as well, so I could see why he went for it. I just think, you know, with that big of a map, wrong place, wrong time. You even saw when he went for the engagement, Scarlett just had a beautiful concave at the very bottom of that ramp in the middle of the map, and he had to almost waste every single... He had so many force fields. I think it was like 10, 12, where he had to just drop all across the board just to be able to hold off that influx of units. So we'll see what he does this game. Big map once again for our Protoss player down here at the bottom left side of the map. Representing Flipside, we have SaroVati. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm trying to still get my head together. Like, after this, I still gotta do a little bit of studying and whatnot. Blah blah blah. Just trying to make sure that I got everything. Looks like I got it. Yeah, all settled in. All right. Looking at the game itself, Forge Fast Expand coming out from SaroVati. SaroVati, of course, on the other side of the map, opening up with some cannons. Now, for anybody who watched the Red Bull qualifiers, was it the Red Bull? No, it actually wasn't the Red Bull. It was the Stage 1 qualifiers for IM. SaroVati basically did this to Henderlisk as well, and once again finding a good position. We're going to have some loss of drones, and this time looks like Scarlett, she will be pushed back for the time being. Most likely will lose also this hatchery. 3 cannons if he allows this last one to finish up. We'll definitely be able to ping this bad boy down. Now, unfortunately, I would say actually probably better to cancel this 3rd cannon, but it looks like he's going to keep the cannon, so more than enough DPS to take it down. Also keeping tabs of the drone, drops the pylon over here to block off this 3rd hatch, or potential 3rd hatch. And if you guys do remember, it was on Catalina, actually. I remember the map. It was on Catalina. SaroVati basically did the same thing to Henderlisk and got away with it very late. Don't want to say late reaction, but definitely managed to really disrupt the opponent. Now, probably going to try to stay alive. Going to go over into the hiding right now. Already lost the hatch. That's a pretty big deal. I feel like he could have potentially canceled out this 3rd cannon over here if he wanted to. But for the most part, he's really doing a good job of preventing his opponent from getting over. You know, Scarlett, she's not able to get over here, so gonna clear out this 3rd pylon over here. To be able to actually regather this natural, she will also have to invest some units, unless she somehow gets over there with a lot of queens and tries to focus down the pylon as quick as she can. Maybe that will work, but if she tries to fight the cannons heads up just like that, we might see a little bit of a different story. And yeah, see, that's kind of cute. So you look at this cannon, it's far enough where anything that really crosses its path, it will take at least one shot at them. Meanwhile, back at home, SaroVati getting his natural up, just about done. Cybercore underway. And, you know, when you're able to get away with this type of a playstyle and you really delay your opponent this much in terms of their macro and their efficiency, you really can play almost any way you want. You could either grab a really early 3rd base on your opponent, you could as well, you know, go for a quicker all-in, you could Immortal Sentry them. And that's one of those things you have to realize too as well. Your opponent's bases are very far out this time, so as you take a look and see this 3rd and 4th, this 3rd and I guess 2nd and natural, this natural over here in a sense, the 2nd base and the 3rd base that's building is very far away from the actual normal 2nd base location, so you really might want to, you know, do a quick little follow-up with zealots, do a little bit more harassment to it, because really your opponent does have to overextend to be able to help herself out. You know, it really doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if you're J-Dong, doesn't matter if you're Scarlet, doesn't matter, like, you're extended this far, the follow-up can be pretty damn dangerous, I feel like, at this point. Hold on, let me check something. Bum, bum, bum. Oh no, that's fine. Okay, sorry, I had to double check somebody chat. I was like, no, I think base rate has their delay up too as well. That's fine. I just double check. Alright, now Spinecrawler going to be clearing out this pylon. Almost lost the Spinecrawler along the way, but we do have a forward warp, and check this out. utilizing that pylon to get a little bit of a forward warp in it, and right now the Queen's going to try to head over there. Is it going to have enough time to actually take it out? Cannon's knocking out the Lings, but the pylon gets depowered now. This will strand these Zealots, unfortunately, but these Zealots, they technically could just go over here and start picking and prodding away at these workers. Instead, they're going to head inside the main base. I'm not sure if that's exactly 100% the best decision. Going to start slicing away at the Roach Warren right now. Ling's starting to come out to help support. Sorry, I was just a little bit distracted right there for a couple seconds. Meanwhile, SaroVati over here grabbing his third base. Cannoning up, so you should be pretty safe. Now, this is the one thing that does scare me a little bit. If SaroVati, like I said, doesn't get that nice little follow-up, if he doesn't get that really nice follow-up, doesn't get a lot of damage, doesn't get a lot of harassment, what's going to happen is Scarlet, she's going to have a free fourth hatch, and you're going to have very fresh resources at your natural. We're not talking your third base, we're not talking your fourth base. You're going to have very fresh resources at your natural, a very safe fourth base, by the way, as well. So, the longer the game goes, the more I'd be worried for SaroVati, because again, the same thing is going to happen here, where Scarlet's going to have a lot of time to be able to produce the composition that she really wants to produce, and if she goes mutas, it's almost a little bit of that similar scenario. You have to bounce in between bases. Now, there is a little bit more of a commitment when it comes to having the mutas fly in here. They will have to come through here pretty deeply inside the main base to get there, but if you take a look at the natural, there's a lot of airspace that you could utilize to fly out of. There's a third base you could poke in and then poke out, so it's really going to be dependent on SaroVati's positioning along the way. So here comes the fourth hatch. One of our depowered cannons. They do at least see that, so a little bit of a scout for SaroVati. SaroVati also doing a pretty decent job of harassing and coming across the map. Surprised it didn't try to poke away at that Ling right there. Oh well. Lair just about done. Evos as well. The second Evo, that is. +1 already underway for missiles and 10 additional drones. So Scarlet, she's going to be very heavy in terms of macro focus right now, and it's going to be a little bit of a runaway train, I feel like, when you look at it, because you can't. This is what you dream of, to have this much of comfort within 4 bases on a map like this, man. Cross positions and yikes. Well, you can see SaroVati is heading across the map off of 3 base with Stalker, a little bit of a, almost want to say an immortal, I don't want to say it's an immortal sentry all in, but a lot of sentries, lots of immortal. Starting to warp in some more Stalkers, going to head on forward. Let's see what Scarlet's defenses are. I know she's already has some roaches out on the map. She's starting to produce even more, getting a queen, +1/+1. Roach speed is almost done. She will have to now focus all of her attention on army production, or she could be in a little bit of trouble. She start walking up here towards the third base. It does get a little bit tighter now. There is, well, is there an observer? There is an observer under here, so clear and creep out of the way as well. SaroVati moving his way into the third base, or one of the third base locations. Takes the hatch out. Mothership core is right behind as well, because that's the thing you got to keep in mind too as well. If there's ever a moment where SaroVati does not feel comfortable enough to engage, he could always just recall on out of there. We'll see if he decides to spend his energy on the Time Warp, which I think is not really worth it, but here it comes. We're just trying to filter on through. Sentry's just doing massive amounts of work of cutting up this map over here, then this natural, literally unallowing any of these units to get anywhere near them. But here comes another second rush. The Surround is going to try to take out everything that it possibly can. Immortal might go down, indeed it does, but look at all the units for SaroVati right now, up to 148 supply. Scarlet dropping down very steeply right now. And when roaches are your only defense, you're really hoping that the roaches are going to be able to maybe bail you out. Now, roaches do have 1-1. The 1-1 upgrades did just finish up, but look at that reinforcement right there. Mass Stalkers from the back, blinking on forward. This is over G. So we're going to be heading into Game 3 momentarily. Hang tight, guys.